Oh look, it's another ESL Open Cup Grand Finals. What I've got for you today is the finals of the 157th edition of the Korean version of this tournament. And you'll be very surprised to learn that it's time for a Protoss versus Zerg, where first off we have Dark, and then secondly we have herO. These guys have been facing off against each other so many times over the last couple of weeks, but you know what? They've been playing a lot of fun SC2, so I don't really care. That being said, as you may have already noticed, we find ourselves on a map called Babylon. Babylon is one of the new official tournament maps that we will be running going forward in StarCraft 2. So this was announced a couple of days ago. Actually, by the time you're watching this video, I think it was announced, I don't know, like 5 or 6 days ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. Doesn't really matter all too much, but even though I casted a lot of games from the Team Liquid map contest, when that was played a couple of months back, this is a map that got 9th overall, and I don't believe I've casted a single game on it just yet. So, yeah, it did very well. It wasn't one of the top 5, however, and because of that, I figured it wasn't probably likely, at least, to be part of the official map tournaments in StarCraft 2. And yet, here we are. So, this is a map made by SHA. A fairly small map with standardized expansion patterns that features 4 cliff levels. Destroying the destructible rocks will easily shorten the travel time of your attacks and also make them quite straightforward towards the opposing enemy expansions. Alright, so this is going to be played as well during the World Championships of StarCraft 2. That's going to be taking place in about a month from now. So yeah, this is, it's one of the official ones. It's one of the important ones. First off though, we've got grass. Ugh, you gotta place your beautiful golden Protoss structures on a bunch of organic ugh, gross. Looks kind of funny though, having grass on the ramp. That is not an innuendo, although it could be. Depends on how creative you are. Anyhow, this is of course also played with the new multiplayer balance patch. So we've got new maps, we've got a new multiplayer balance patch. I mean, there have been multiple editions of the new patch, and generally speaking, I think you'll probably get the gist of it by now. Once we get to some updated units, I'll mention it, but I think overall, if you've at the very least been watching the channel over the last couple of weeks, I think everything should be pretty self-explanatory. So far though, nothing out of the ordinary. We've got ourselves a Stargate opener here from herO. He's gonna go for a Chrono boosted adept as well, and the Overlords, well, they're gonna scout very quickly what's going on, and I think they'll try and fly away. Yeah. This is something that Dark has been doing in pretty much all of his games. He's like, oh, there's an Overlord, oh, no, quick, run, or fly, you fool. But yeah, as soon as he sees a Stargate, he tries to hide those Overlords, so... Oh, we're going back with the first one, however. Interesting. Guess he wants to see how many gateway units are being produced. Anyways, generally speaking, he tries to fly them away as quickly as possible, just on the off chance that it's going to be a Phoenix opener. That being said, I've casted a lot of herO's games. Oh, he does get the creep tumor there. I've casted a lot of herO's games lately, and I don't think he went for a Phoenix a single time. Yeah, no, it's always Oracle. I don't think he went for a single Void Ray either, actually. So I'm pretty sure he could technically scout with like 5 Overlords and then keep them alive. Would you look at that, by the way? Ooh. Aw, he's playing on a little marine drum. Isn't he? Am I crazy? There's a little marine head right there. On top of the spike is... Oh my god, what's going on here? That's a messed up little place. Anyhow, we've got a little bit of time to look around the map, by the way, so... Standard natural over here, standardly sized main base, little Reaper jump-up pad, not particularly helpful for this matchup, but definitely something that the Terran players will like to know. Do we already have an Oracle out? We do. Yeah, okay, it's in the middle of the map right now, just providing vision right here for this Overlord. Stalker, really wants to get the OV kill, and it will, but you already had to activate the Pulsar Beam right there, right? So... Not entirely sure how much damage this Oracle can really deal, and maybe this is actually herO just giving his opponent a whole lot of respect, saying, yo, I'm probably not going to deal that much damage anyways, so I'll just wait until the second Oracle arrives, and at the very least, I can guarantee myself an Overlord kill, which is fair enough. We've got a, yeah, pretty normal 3rd and 4th base location. You can also expand up here, it seems. The map description reads that it's a relatively small map, but as far as bases go, I feel like there's quite a few of them, no? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. I guess 14 bases is not a ton in total, but definitely nothing out of the ordinary. This is something we see most of the time currently in StarCraft 2. I think the minimum you can do with the map contest right now is 12 bases per player. Maybe it's 13. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked at the rules in a while, but yeah. So knocking down these rocks, that will definitely shorten up the attack path quite a bit. And that's going to make it much easier to actually get across the map. But other than that, this map, other than the grass and the really nice decorations and just... Honestly, we've gotten very spoiled over the last couple of years with how these maps look, right? The players have really, been playing on some beautiful... Oh, actually, I say that. The way that Dark probably sees this, let me just show you what Dark and herO probably see at this point. This is what they are looking at. A lot of the top tier players in StarCraft 2. Well, most of the competitive players that have been playing this game since the early days. Since, oh my god, it's so ugly. Oh look, there's a little dance over there too. Anyways, yeah, they've been playing with the lowest graphic settings for a very long time, just because when you used to go to tournaments back in the day, there wasn't necessarily always a guarantee that you could run it at the highest graphic settings. And because of that, of course, there was a chance that, well, everything was different than you would be practicing at home. And when you think about it, playing on the absolute lowest graphic settings also gives you all of the critical information without any of the unnecessary information, right? So you can easily see all the critical info without being forced to deal with, well, look at this, these weird corners of the creep. You know exactly where the creep starts and where the creep ends. And yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? At a competitive level, frame rate is also... Ooh. Oh, no. What? What just happened there? That Adept just walked. Obviously, this was Dark trying to bait that out, but you always want to be keeping that Adept on hold position. This is now going to force those Oracles back home as well. For the time being, actually, I would have liked to see a Chrono Boost there to just kill them all, but... For the time being, 6 probes is actually really not that bad. But obviously, it's not really what you're looking for here as a Protoss player. Honestly, that was pretty good, I think, for Protoss overall. I mean, you don't want to have the Zerglings slip in. But when it happens and your crisis management is that good, I think it's not that, and yeah, not that big of a deal. There's still no unit, by the way, in the wall off here. So apparently that Adept gets to sleep on the job. Of course, the shield battery here did get destroyed, but nice Blink Stalker control there once again by our Protoss player. A couple of sentries out here in the middle of the map. Also stay alive. Okay. So herO decided to make a, what is that? What do you call that? Like a Gold League mistake. But then followed it up with some Grandmaster League control, and he turned out to be A-okay. You love to see it. Although, you know, you'd love even more to just avoid that in the first place. What exactly do we have going on in this particular game so far? Well, Dark, he is just trying to make a bunch of drones at this point. Really needs to make sure that he gets that 4th base up and running. At least that's what I would imagine. He's making quite a bit of army. And even though he killed a bunch of workers on the other side of the map, I don't think he's all too happy with this game so far. You really do want to be economically ahead. So at this point, it's 68 workers for Protoss versus 60, well, 68 right now as well here for our Zerg. It's not really necessarily what you're looking for, but it doesn't look to me that herO really has an army to end this game anytime soon either. I mean, how many units does he even have? No, he's got a bunch of Stalkers here. So I think he also really wants to lean on this 4th Nexus that he's building down south. And if that's the case, we should be getting a very nice introduction when it comes to this, this new map, because I think this game is probably going to go on for a little bit longer. By the way, in the past, what we've had many times is that like 4 new maps were introduced, or sometimes I believe we had like 5 new maps introduced as well. So the map pool in StarCraft 2 has always been 7 maps big. You can veto a bunch of them, of course, as well in tournaments, as well as on the ladder. However, this time around, we got 7 new maps. So all of the maps that we had previously are kicked out, and we get 7 brand new ones, which is exciting. Honestly, it's a good time to be a StarCraft fan, right? Considering we have the World Championships coming up very soon. We have a new map pool. There's a new balance patch. All of that is very exciting, although also a little nerve-wracking, because sometimes the maps turn out to be horribly imbalanced. And yeah, that could really, especially, I don't know exactly when the new balance patch is supposed to hit, but I believe it's intended to be live before Katowice, before the World Championships, that is. Yeah, it could get a little shaky, is what I'm saying. Would have liked to see the lead-in time for this whole balance change. A couple weeks, maybe a couple months earlier. But anyhow, it is what it is. As a StarCraft fan, as a commentator, I'm a fan of, you know, having new things, but I can imagine if you're a player and you're qualified for the World Championships, maybe a little bit frustrating. Yeah, so we're just gonna go for additional upgrades here. He is basically sitting back. herO, I mean, he's poking here with a couple of Stalkers on the right side. He's getting a little bit of damage done with these Oracles. But has he done enough damage so far, right? So 6 workers in total. The traits, I mean, they've been slightly Protoss favored. But over the last couple of minutes, Dark has been able to do whatever he likes. And apparently what he likes to do right now is just saturate a whole lot of bases. He's spending most of his gas on Banelings, it seems. So he's already got 15, but he's gonna go for 20 more. We have Burrow coming up. We are at Hive Tech, so he's decided to go for the adrenal glands research. But no actual Hive Tech units yet. Do we have a... No, we don't have a Spire or anything like that either. So I thought maybe he wants to go for a quick Hive here to try and get some Brute Lords going. But none of that is the case. It's just going to be more of the unit composition we've been seeing for years. Zerglings, once again, trying to run into the natural expansion. Banelings right now rolling down towards the third as well. They are certainly going to be able to get some damage done. Okay, that is a lot of workers gone. At the same time, though, there's that big Protoss ball now moving towards the left side of the map. They're trying to commit here, but I don't think going back really is an option at this point, right? I mean, he's decided to split off his units, so only the Stalkers are still here. But already 19 probes have gone down. This Nexus is even in a little bit of trouble. Protoss army eventually comes back home. Okay, he kills a hatch over here. 4 drones in total, but there's already new bases acquired. There's a new hatchery just about to finish up north as well. So I think that, yeah, Dark is going to be able to find a new place for those workers that he had to evacuate from here. He's going to find a new place for them very, very soon. So in the end, that was definitely a trait that goes in the favor of the Zerg. And I think he's pretty happy about it. I'm really quite surprised, though. We haven't seen any late-game tech here. So the only tech I guess we're seeing is late-game upgrades. So we've got +3 melee coming up. We've had the adrenal glands research. But other than that, Dark is not messing around with any of the updated units for the Zerg. And likewise, actually, herO also not really making use of a whole lot of that at all. We haven't seen any disruptors. I guess he's been going for the upgrades. So the upgrades are a little bit quicker in this new patch. So you can research them faster. So I guess that's what he's playing around with here. But Dark is just swarming all over his opponent now. Taking the first 10 minutes of this game mostly just to build up. Send groups of Zerglings here and there, but for the most part, yeah, he must be feeling pretty good about himself. That said, though, I mean, these upgrades are not to be underestimated. Normally, Protoss would not be finishing up all of that at this point. Yeah, so he's at +3, +2, +1. Those Archons are going to be able to eat Banelings for breakfast. But there might just be too many Banelings. Okay, well, you know what? That trade was pretty sick for Protoss, though. That was a very expensive set of units there for Zerg to lose. And while he does have some money still in the bank, he did just deplete the majority of it. There's also now a warp in the bottom left-hand corner, so the Prism is going to start harassing this left side base on Babylon. Expansion in the top right already gone. Maybe focusing on upgrades is actually the new standard against Zerg. I'm not sure, but... Well, this corner over here is terrible, though. herO obviously already used Recall a little bit ago to get those Stalkers out earlier. So, he ends up losing quite an expensive set of units. Zealots right now, though, after slicing their way through that hatchery, have decided to go to the Zerg's natural. And they're going to start working on that hatch, too, and that's certainly going to fall. This is actually a banger of a game so far. Protoss is going to need a 5th Nexus very soon. So exactly where is he going to take that? I would imagine here on the low ground. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Taking one up north is a little bit trickier, especially with the way that the static defense and whatnot is set up. Okay, an Immortal apparently has been tasked with protecting the wall. They may very well need to as well, because the Zerglings can run very, very rapidly across the map. Dark right now realizes as well that his opponent is going to need a new expo, so he's going to scout both locations. Okay, he sees the army positioned over there. Now, one thing he is researching here is pathogen glands, and that is the energy improvement for the Infestor, which is a really interesting unit of choice here. One thing you can do with the Infestor and fungal growth is throw a fungal on your opponent's army, and at that point you can inhibit any movement. So, for example, Stalkers cannot blink when they are fungaled. Which has been the bulk, I guess, of herO's army so far, but very interesting. There's also Neuroparasite. which may very well be something that he wants to research here shortly as well, but he didn't queue it up. Unless he already researched it while I didn't notice. No, he did not actually research that. Which is kind of interesting. He's going for quite a few infestors too. So we're already at 7 of them. One thing to keep in mind is that these guys are playing against each other many times over the last couple of weeks. So they have played against each other probably about a dozen times. They are also teammates, and I would imagine pretty good friends. Oh, there's NeoHumanity. Okay, yeah, so that is what we're going to do. I would imagine that they're also pretty good friends. Because of that, there's a good chance that they're gonna meme a little bit. Because this does seem like a bit of a meme build. Here's the Fungals. I don't think this is enough, Dark. I don't quite understand why we don't have Brute Lords here. Like, Brute Lords would be fantastic against everything here. Especially after their movement speed increase. Does he have enough? Archons in the front, though, soaking up so many of those Banelings. Immortals show up a little late to this party, but eventually they're here. They're going to be able to start working on those roaches very nicely with their bonus against armored units. NeoHumanity is going to finish up after this engagement, I believe, which is exactly what herO is looking for. herO has that base up and running at the 6 o'clock position. There's another Fungal Growth. I mean, that's pretty sick. Fungal Growth together with Corrosive Bile can deal a lot of damage. Drones are starting to fall. Dark loses a lot of stuff. The problem is that while this fight is happening, yeah, the Zealots are working on the left side. Drones here are burrowed on the ground. But I think, yeah, Brute Lords would have been good, right? Brute Lords are normally what we see. That would have been a huge success. Other than Stalkers, there's nothing really that can kill Brute Lords here. And I think at that point there were like a dozen Stalkers, which maybe a little bit more than that. But if you have a good handful of Brutes, which he certainly could have had, he would have shut that down easy peasy. Okay, so now we're going back to just pure Roach Ravager. herO is still making Immortals and Archons. Would have loved to see some Storm as well right now, right? Like, I mean, Storm would also be a fantastic addition here for Protoss. For some reason, even though he's had a Templar Archives forever, because he's been building those Archons, obviously, he has not added that on. I mean, Zerglings, last time I checked, if your opponent's army is primarily Zerglings, Storm is pretty good against that too. It's good against everything, actually, that Zerg has here. Even against supplemental, or just as supplemental damage goes here. Against the Ravagers, it would be sick. Obviously, going for some feedbacks against Infestors would also not be a bad choice. But yeah, I think he's just warping in a lot of High Templar here to morph them into Archons. Okay, well, this time around, the army here and the drones, they do get found because there's an observer up in the sky. A thick observer, that is. About 20% bigger than it was in the previous patch. Dark, though, giving up on that expansion. Giving up on the other one right next to it, too, as he's going for an all-out counterattack. Microbial Shroud. Think that's a misclick. There's really no reason to have Microbial Shroud there. Probably tried to Corrosive Bile or something. Maybe morph in more Ravagers. Anyhow, after killing 2 expansions, apparently, this Protoss army is gonna turn all the way back home. Both players have just taken a tremendous amount of losses. Dark, however, decides to go to this corner, which I don't entirely agree with. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of that Zerg army. GG is cold, and it's herO who obtains the victory. Okay, apparently herO in game number 2 also decided to take a bit of a different color. We've got light pink going up against light blue. And we find ourselves on a map called NeoHumanity. This is a map, as far as I could tell, that did not do particularly well during the Team Liquid map contest. As a matter of fact, I'm not entirely sure when it was even produced, because it did not make it into the top 16. Which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen a single game yet on this map. There's a pretty lengthy description, so let me actually go over it. I'll just follow around this probe, I guess, in the early game. So it says, 4 conjoined destructible towers in the center of the map share the same HP pool. Destroying any one tower greatly lengthens the rush distance in the short term and changes the shape of the future rush path by discouraging the use of the initial inhibitor zone path. 2 Xel'Naga towers provide players crucial vision of the 2 remaining push paths. Okay, so these cooling towers over here in the middle of the map have 500 HP. That's very little. They're gonna be linked together, apparently. And I'm assuming they collapse on top of this slow zone over here that this Overlord is showing us. That's the inhibitor zone. At that point, the only way to properly go across is by either destroying those rocks, I suppose, or destroying the rocks right over here. These have 2,000 HP each. Interesting. or by pushing right here on the top path, which is covered by a Xel'Naga Watchtower, and then also right over here. And I'm assuming you could go around that way too, but it would still be spotted because, okay, the Xel'Naga Watchtowers are in range there. Very cool, very interesting at least. Let me see, there's more. As the game progresses and rocks are destroyed, the time to cross the map greatly decreases as the center paths become open and direct. The linear third is blocked by 2 rows of 10 minerals. Once the aggressively located rich Vespian gas base begins to mine out, the destructible obelisks behind its base, or behind its minerals rather, can be destroyed to make the center even more open. The idea is that creative players will find unorthodox ways to utilize the various mechanics present on this map. Okay then. So, yeah, these are those mineral fields here. So, essentially, you're forced to take this as your third base here initially if you want to take it quickly. However, you can also mine out these mineral fields here. So, it's 10 minerals. A worker mines 5 minerals a trip, so it would take only 2 workers to mine out one of these. And you could, well, relatively early still take this expansion as well, which is a little bit more tucked away. And then obviously, as the game progresses, all of this is going to be destroyed. You can't rebuild that. So, ooh, okay, you know what? I gotta say, I am not familiar with this map yet, but I really like the concept. Like, the idea sounds fantastic. It's gonna take a lot of practice, I guess, to be comfortable on a map like this, but the colors look awesome. And in general, yeah, the description certainly reads as an exciting map. So the rich base over here. I guess that's yeah, you know what? That is technically possible as the third. Guys like Bly will be more than happy to take this early because it's got a rich Vespian gas. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, thought for a second that was 10 mineral fields here. That would have been a little bit crazy, but okay. So NeoHumanity. Let me just look it up real quick. I'm curious what it says on the Team Liquid website. Okay. Yeah, so it was submitted as part of the Team Liquid map contest number 17. But in general, can't really find a whole lot of information about this map, which is rather interesting. Anyhow, we've once again got standard openers here from both of them, it seems. Stargate opener here from herO. He's decided to go for a couple oracles, so turns out talking about this map and looking around a little bit takes about as long as it takes for a game of Zerg versus Protoss to start off. Just kind of cool. Very beautiful looking map though. I really like the tile set. Really cool stuff. Yeah. Okay, a couple of adept shading forward here. There should be enough Zerglings available to push them back. Fair enough. Third Nexus already acquired. Right next to the Supernova Men's Club. Okay. Sure, that's where you built your third base, huh, herO? Oh my god, that's advertisements everywhere for the super... Oh, okay. Anyways, doesn't really matter all too much. I'm assuming there's one over here too, actually. Yeah, they're mirrored. You just can't really see from this side, okay, but... Okay. It's not just herO, is what I'm saying. So you have a lot of options, though. So I really like the idea of creating a way to make the middle section of this map interesting, and then to make it impossible for your opponent to attack you without you knowing that it's coming. This is obviously one of those types of maps, though, that is going to take a lot of practice in order to be good at it. And Dark apparently has decided, you know what? Screw you, map. I'm going to go for something that I could do literally anywhere. Nidus Network is coming up. It's just about to finish up here, so I would imagine we are going to be seeing Dark tunnel some of those queens towards the other side of the map very quickly. Zerglings here at the front being a nuisance. At this point, okay, Nidus is going up inside of the main base. He does have vision, herO that is. Should have been a little further to the left. But even just a Nidus at the front would be incredibly annoying to have to deal with. He doesn't have a shield battery here, which would be tricky. Queens do pop out, but they don't actually get a transfusion done in time. Second Nidus Worm, however, already coming up over here. There's only 2 adepts available right now to deal with all of this at the third. Oracles were attacking the main base of the Zerg not too long ago, so they're entirely out of energy now. That means they cannot attack. Now the Queens will pop out. Now they will be able to transfuse that Nidus as well. Battery overcharge being used over here. New worm going up inside of the main base. And suddenly herO is forced to deal with 17 fires at once. I don't think he's good enough. Dark has only got 40 workers here, so this is a very small Zerg economy. herO can therefore lose an entire third base and actually be in a playable situation. I mean, so far he hasn't lost that much yet. I mean, he's lost a lot, but like not an unlosable or an unwinnable amount, I guess. The problem is that there's still a lot more Zerg coming on the back of this. He's forced to warp in Stalkers. Those Oracles are still just, well, lifting in the air and or sitting in the air and just, you know, reflecting their thoughts. They're finally do they once again activate the Pulsar Beam. So much creep already in the main base as well. Third Nexus at this point falls. Zerglings should be able to pop into that worm and then go straight into the main base. Valiant effort here from herO, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah, any worker right now is becoming expensive. He's even popping low HP queens in and out of the worms to try and keep them alive for a little bit longer. Transfusions are going to save the queen here on the left side as well. Yeah, and now we're getting to the point where this game is no longer something that herO can recover from. Everything unpowered in the main base. He decided to go for greedy double forges. Because of that, he doesn't have enough units. Next up, we find ourselves on Royal Blood. Casted quite a few games on this map so far. I think we're well familiar with it. Gotta say though, all of the textures that we have on these maps so far, at least, they're all very distinct. That's kind of nice. This is the map with the messed up carpets over here that don't really touch very well. It bothers me, okay, until the expansion is done. When the expansion finishes, the way that this... Yeah, the way that all of that connects is a little bit annoying. There's also these weird looking carpets right over here. It's like a rug. At the very least, it's a perfect indicator of exactly where the base needs to go. It's got the big fountain over here. We've already seen a lot of fights go horribly wrong in this section of the map for Zerg. In quite a few of our previous EVPs. Anyhow. Yeah, now it looks okay, right? Now that the Nexus is covering those connectors. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. Anyways, once again, we've got ourselves a Stargate opener here from herO. Those are, in fact, not those Mario Kart things that would speed up a Reaper. That would be sick, man. You go over here as a Reaper. And you just go into the main base. That'd be awesome. Sadly, not the case. Just an LED strip, I guess, to indicate exactly where the Reaper would have to go. You'll love to see it. Oracle will probably be helping out the Stalker here once again. It's a bit sad, a little mean, a tad cruel, but that's okay. Protoss players don't have feelings, confirmed, man. They just think those Overlord balloons need to go. It's a little bit disappointing. I could actually read the official map description for Royal Blood as well. But I don't think we really need to. But you know what? I've started a trend today. I'm gonna do it. So this one is made by May on Fire. Despite a short rush distance, this map provides a lot of early game safety by restricting movement of armies and allowing players to expand away from the main attack path. Bases are spread horizontally and become harder to defend the longer the game goes on. There you go. Piles and piles of gold. It's what the winner of the World Championships will get this year. You get whatever you could find on Royal Blood. So the prize pool for IEM Katowice is $500,000. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. $500,000 for 32 or 36 players? I think 36. Yeah, first place prize is $150,000. Pretty nice. Anyway, Dark has started up a lot of unit production, by the way. He is, yeah, he's once again marching the ladies. There they go. They're not very fast, but luckily for them, they have many legs, so that helps them move a little bit more rapidly. Look at that little roach. Bad manners right there. My god, now you're gonna make the old lady walk around you? Bro. Manners and etiquette are not that important in the Zerg world. You may have already noticed. The main question at this point, though, is herO prepared for this? Yeah, the third base is all the way out there. He's got static defense in that location, but Dark is knocking on the natural. He is not really all too concerned about the third nexus. And he's instead just marching straight over here, which actually makes a lot of sense, right? If you're looking at this map layout, I love the way he's biling as well. Not actually biling structures that much, but mostly focusing on trying to keep those stalkers pinned back. Economically speaking, herO is okay here. Oh, don't lose your oracles for free. That would really suck. Okay, he ends up losing one for free anyways. Sloppy control. Sloppy control right here from herO. And that now means, I mean, he's got very few tools to work with, right? I mean, he still has sentries. Oh, no. What are you guys doing? The Stalker is on hold position, I think. My God. Yeah, without the sentries over there, I mean, this is a disaster. If you're a Protoss player, I highly recommend you close your eyes, because this is horrible. herO just accidentally lost 4,000 MMR. Just for a moment, okay? But it happened. It happens to the best of us. Any StarCraft player sometimes, occasionally, plays significantly worse than they could have. And apparently for herO, that happened just now, because those 30 seconds were rather sloppy. I mean, he's got some sick Guardian shields over here, though. But if you look at the supply counts... Yeah, no. I want to do the commentator thing really badly, okay? Where I'll tell you he's got a chance. He's got Stalkers and a Dreams, okay? And a Dream, okay? That's all you need to know. Problem is, the Stalkers are no longer here. Now we only... Well, I guess they're still here. Are they gonna survive? Nope, they didn't. And with that, the Dream dies as well. Dragon Scales. I've casted a couple of games on this particular map as well, I believe. I like this one. Again, very distinct. Maybe that's actually one of the criteria this time around for a map pool, right? I mean, we've had maps in the past, especially in the early days of StarCraft 2, where the color green was basically about 90% of the whole map. Like, some of it was broken up by a bunch of rocks, but other than that, it was just green. Which sucks a bit, but yeah. These days, I guess, we've got so many good maps and so many pretty looking maps as well. You can actually start thinking about the distinction of the different maps and how they work against the other maps that you've got in there. Yeah, it's actually pretty sick. Okay, so this one is also made by May on Fire. So forward high ground outposts play a major part in defense and coordinating attacks. The linear third is open and easy to access, whereas a triangle third is choked, with an option to partially block a ramp with collapsible rocks. Alright. By the way, it seems that the general consensus of Terran players is that the map pool is horrible for Terran. It seems that the general consensus for Protoss players at the pro level is that it's horrible for Protoss. And it also seems that the general consensus right now for Zerg is that it's terrible for Zerg. So everybody is blaming one another. I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. Honestly, it's gonna take some time. Right? Like, statistically speaking, it's gonna be a little while until we really know exactly where these maps are at. Like, map balance really is critical in StarCraft 2. It's one of those things that's often overlooked. People will oftentimes be shouting at, oh, the Ghost is too strong, or the Queen is too strong, or I can't stop High Templar, Blizzard, please. But honestly, at like the highest level of play, at this level of play, I would wager that map design is more important than unit balance. Because just the way that the map is laid out can, well, especially for Zergs, I guess, it can make a very significant difference. If Zerg can expand and the other races can't, I mean, since obviously you have your bases connected with creep and all your units move at about a gajillion miles an hour, yeah, it's much easier usually for Zerg to cover greater distances. That being said, though, for a long time in StarCraft 2's history, the maps were tiny, right? So, like, in the early days of StarCraft 2, the maps were tiny. And then they got progressively bigger for many years. And over the last couple of seasons, over the last couple of years, we've really had the maps shrink a little bit again. So, I mean, none of these maps are all too crazy. But still. Dragon Scales. I do get a little bit of a, what's that guy called in World of Warcraft? The bad dragon. Deathwing? Yeah, I'm getting... No, not so much from this section of the map, okay? I think, by the way, there's adept killing stuff. Sorry. There's one adept. Look at the shade. Wow. 2 kills. Might even get 3. No, never mind. I'm getting very Deathwing-y vibes over here. Okay, this is giving me either that or we could have called it like a Rakshir. The Rite of Rakshir would also be okay. So far, by the way, Royal Blood, Babylon, Dragon Scale. Yeah, none of these map names bother me. NeoHumanity, I mean, it's not a bad map name, don't get me wrong. NeoHumanity is kind of cool, I guess. I feel like there needs to be a space between Neo and Humanity. So as far as map names go, I would say that there's a little bit of room for improvement there. NeoHumanity was one word, right? Would NeoHumanity be considered one word? I'm Googling it. NeoHumanity. Google gives me a autocorrect for no humanity, which is not what I meant. No, NeoHumanity. I feel like there should be... I guess it could be either. Yeah, fair enough. Apparently, it's an album from a band called Scar Symmetry, called The Singularity Phase 1 A NeoHumanity. Yeah, that's the thing, apparently. Okay. Anyhow. Oracle's flying around again. We've had the same opener here from herO every time, so this is what he used to do as well. When he first came up with his Oracle start. I think he's mixing up the forge timings a little bit. So normally... Ooh, no. Don't lose it. Normally what he would do is go for a Twilight Council together with a forge at the same time. But I think he's now mixing it up a little bit. And he's going for double forge at the same time a little bit later. I wonder if that's the plan. I'm not exactly sure. Ooh. Did he just lose? No. Ooh. Flawless game so far for Protoss. You love to see it. Not a single unit lost. Yeah, so he's actually spending a lot of additional resources right now on gateways. So we're going up to 7 gateways here in total. Oh, are we thinking about making another base already, herO? Is that what we're doing? Is that where we're going to be spending our resources? I mean, he is on 4 gas, so... Yeah, he is on 4 gas. Yeah, only 2 and 2 in gas. So herO is definitely trying to do some min-maxing here with his macro. Even though his build looks identical. I know some of you are, you know, shouting at your screen to make some Dark Templar or Immortals or something. He's actually testing out some stuff. So it's 4 gases. 2 are saturated with 3 probes in them each. 2 of them are saturated with 2 probes in them each. We're just planting down pylons everywhere. Right next to this Taste Slope, for example. But also right here next to these Zerglings. So this is just a Stalker army right now. Which is really weird to me. 7-gate Stalker, is that what we're doing? I mean, I want to believe. Zerg is just about to finish up the +1 melee, but they have been droning very greedily. There's the Stasis Ward though, actually putting in a lot of work. Oh my god, this may actually... So there's no robo facility, right? There's no warp prism or anything like that. We're just using this very slow warp in to reinforce this Protoss force, which is kind of funny to me. +1 Zerglings, very, very good against this. However, you do need a lot of larva in order to go for this sort of army as well for the Zerg. And at this point, well, it's Protoss who's actually forced to step up the macro a little bit. Interesting enough, he's only got, yeah, a little bit of gas. So despite his min-maxing on the gas situation, he doesn't have enough of it. Which I do find kind of funny. No, he never actually... Maybe it was unintentional, I'm not sure. Anyhow, 15 drones have already gone down. herO is now at a worker lead. He's adding on a forge as well, so he's not going completely all in. What a funny little build. This is one of those old school pushes. We used to see 7-gate blink off of 3 gases. Yeah, back in like 2011. But then you would play it on 2 base. Anyhow, it works again. herO ends up winning game number 4. Okay, and that means that our final game for today takes place on a map called Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern. Made by Sky Piranha. The map description is very short. This is what Sky Piranha says. A balanced layout which provides room for many different strategies. I love everything about that description. A balanced layout which provides room for many different strategies. I like how some of the map makers, they write like a paragraph or two. Not Sky Piranha. And you know what? I guess that's what we're gonna get. Dark, though, decides that he wants to end this game very quickly. So let's look around the map. Okay, this map falls in the green category, right? But I mean, it's the only green category. You know what? A balanced map with a lot of different strategies may not actually be that bad of a map name at all. Yeah, it looks very standard. It looks very standard. Little jump up pad. Do we have any Overlord pervert pillars? We do. Although it's a little weird. I don't think Zerks are gonna like that. Oh, there's actually very little locations. Yeah, there's actually, okay, only these pillars I think would be high grounds. Very few locations for Overlords to be placed down. Anyways, we've seen Dark do this build many times over the last couple weeks. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, what? He didn't do it! Dark, what? I am very confused by this little interaction just now. Hold on, I'm gonna back off. Sorry. So he gets there. He needs 300 minerals in order to make a hatchery, of course. So now he's got the resources. Oh, he wanted to, but then the probe accidentally got there. But then for some reason, even though herO has got it blocked, I think at this point herO's like, okay, it's not gonna happen anymore anyways. Yeah, and he just stops following the... But this is a weird spot for a hatchery, though. What exactly is the hatchery doing over here? Okay, full wall in here, so... Oh, no. Not a full wall in. I would imagine there's a little bit of space over in that location. The Zealot might actually just be able to sit there and attack the hatchery while blocking simultaneously. I don't think this is a very good position for the proxy hatch. Yeah, look at this. It might... I don't know. Yeah, no. I was thinking maybe it could sit there while attacking the hatch, but not quite. It's not really a great idea anyways. Woo, careful, because you don't want to lose the cybernetics core here. Losing the cyber core is basically GG. Okay, the probe's actually forced to deal as well with some of those Zerglings. Beautiful shuffling there by herO. Who's now having his... Oh, we need a couple more probes, I think, pulled, no? Anyways, he's now forced to once again get that Zealot in the fight. That is Zealot number 2. Hatchery just about to finish up. We do have 2 adepts here, getting chronoed. So far, though, how many workers have gone down? Only 2. Now there's an adept out. Shield battery coming up on the low ground as well. Love to see that. He got the shield battery down before the creep started blocking it, which is important, because right now, yeah, okay, there's one little nuke where he could still fit one. It would be kind of difficult to pull that off. Adept in the main base. Queen is coming up over here as well. Dark is making Zerglings. I would love to see a shield battery in the main base if he can afford it. herO at this point, very broke. Decides to go for a second gas, which I feel like is not the top priority here, but maybe I'm mistaken. Oh no, you guys didn't need to move. What? You could have stood over there, no? Well, it still doesn't matter. Those shield batteries are helping out a ton. Dark is attacking this regardless because he's trying to get rid of the energy right here on these shield batteries. Second queen is made over here too, but Brenda is already in a lot of trouble. Look at Perry the probe, not messing around at all. Okay. I don't like the positioning right there on that proxy hatch. I think if he would have blocked the cybercore from coming up or even that gateway, it would have been significantly better. The map rush distance is also really not that short. Right? Like, I mean... It's not like he can just send Zerglings across the map, those slow Zerglings, and have them arrive that early on. It takes forever for these units to come across. Great micro here by herO, keeping a lot of those units alive. Now he's coming up on the Warp Gate research too, and Warp Gates are going to be absolutely amazing. No Creep Tumor down yet, by the way, either. So without a Creep Tumor, it's going to be very difficult for Dark to put on any sustained pressure, and I would imagine... Ooh. Good control there once again. Nicely done by herO. Okay. I would imagine that this Protoss army is going to be heading... Okay, never mind. He doesn't need to. I was going to say that those units were going to go across the map, but there it is. herO is the one who obtains the victory. Hey, so what are your first impressions on this new map pool? I'm very interested in hearing them. Let me know down below in the comment section of this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.